As you can see, I tried installing Sparrow Wi-Fi using the sudo apt install command. It said unable to locate package. I even tried doing an update and upgrading everything, but it did not work. So I went on internet and found that for Sparrow Wi-Fi to work, we need to install all of these packages. So I installed Python 3 pip, and then I installed the PyQt chart and the QS Scintilla and the Matplotlib. After this, I installed my pip3 just to make sure that everything's working, and after that I tried to install Sparrow Wi-Fi again. I figured I need to clone it from the GitHub, so I just used the git clone, and I used the git clone and cloned it from there. And then so after installing a bunch of packages and making it work on environment, after entering the sudo sparrow wifi.py command, my Sparrow Wi-Fi opened. So this is how the terminal looked like. Even though I tried using a sudo Sparrow Wi-Fi after all the installations, it did not work, so I used this command to access the Sparrow Wi-Fi terminal. So this is the terminal. So after accessing it, I selected on my local interface and then started scanning. And as soon as I started scanning, it took me 2 to 5 seconds to load up the access points near me. And once it's loaded, I can see the access points which are near me. So yeah, these are all the access points that are near me. And I went to the Falcon on the menu, and this attack tools terminal showed up. So my VLAN was not set to the monitoring mode, so I created monitoring interface, and then the name automatically changed to VLAN 0 mon. And then when I started scanning, I could see all of these networks. I found my target access point, so I stopped the scan. This was my target access point. So yeah. So to see how the reauthentication works, I went on here and pressed the continuous deauthentication, and to see if the deauthentication packets are being sent, I opened my Wireshark and I used this filter to only see the deauthentication packets. So as soon as I pressed that filter, I saw the deauthentication packets were being sent. So the deauthentication process is working. And if you want to see the entire packets, you can see the deauthentication packets are being sent continuously with some packets in between, beacon frames in between. So yeah, the continuous deauthentication process is working. I started the WPA capture on my target access point, and when I used the EAPOL filter, I could only see the handshake packets. And as you can see, all the messages are being sent. I mean, 1 2 3 4 of the messages are being sent, as in the 4-way handshake here is happened. So that's the successful 4-way handshake. So after the successful capture of all the keys, it is asking me to find a location to save the file to. So as the message says, it's a success of the WPA capture, and it is also reflected the same in the Wireshark. I actually ran a Wireshark to see the message in detail, and as you can see, all of the messages were caught. So that's a successful WPA capture. For the next step, to install wifiphisher, I updated all my packages just to make sure, and then I installed wifiphisher using the sudo apt install wifiphisher command. The command worked and the wifiphisher was downloaded. Next, I'm going to run the wifiphisher using the sudo wifiphisher -i VLAN 0 command. It says starting wifiphisher, and then it started a scan. I could see all of the access points near me. The one at the top is my access point. As soon as I selected my target access point. These are all the options that I could see. The options are auth login page, browser plugin update, firmware update page, network manager connect. As soon as I entered the firmware update, this window popped up, and in this window I could see the extension feed, connected victims, and the HTTP requests. So when I tried to connect my phone, the victim thing popped up. The victim probed for LAN with ESSID. What happened was, it said, the terminal said that I cannot connect my phone to the Wi-Fi. I'll record my screen and put it in the video to give you a clear explanation of what's happening. As you can see, I have two access points of the same name. One is protected and the other one's not protected. I tried to access the twin access point. It said not allowed. I tried to access it again. As you can see here, I tried to access the one with no password. It did not allow me to join in the network again. I tried connecting to the twin access point again. It did not allow me. It directly threw me out of connecting it. So after a while, I tried connecting to my original access point with the password which is given. So I entered it, and as soon as I entered it, I saw a change in my window, as in the Kali terminal. I'll show you in a bit. And it said, it says in the red option by MAC address. So yeah, that is it for the second part. Coming to the next part, I installed the airgeddon using the sudo apt install airgeddon. The airgeddon got installed, and now I'm gonna run it using the sudo airgeddon command. As I ran my airgeddon, it gave me a list of all the essential tools that are installed and the optional tools that are not installed. So there was the package name given here, so I used the package name and I installed all of them. They were like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 packages that needs to be installed. So I installed all of those 8 packages. I used the sudo apt install and then the package name that was suggested here, and then all of the installations worked. As you can see, I've installed all of the packages that were missing. As you can see, I installed all of the packages. And once the installation of all of the packages is done, let us see if it still says the packages were missing, or it's, what does it say. So I'm running it using sudo airgeddon. All the packages are installed except for one. I'm gonna do it again. I installed the correct package for DHCP. Apparently it is ISC DHCP server, and I installed DHCP dnav. Let me see if it still says error when I run airgeddon. All of the packages were successfully installed, so I'm going to proceed to the next step now. I'm going to select my interface, which is TIO LAN 0, and then press enter, and then I'm gonna select the evil twin attacks menu, 7, and then enter, and then I enter into the evil twin attack menu. I have selected the 9th option, evil twin AP attack with captive porter. It says monitor mode needed. I didn't put my LAN 0 on monitor mode yet. As you can see on top, it is still in the mode managed. So I'm gonna put it on monitor mode now. I have put my LAN 0 on monitor mode using the airborne ng check kill command to kill all the processes that are interrupting, and then I started the LAN 0 mon, as in I set it to the monitor mode, and then I checked if it was working or not using the IW config. As you can see here, the name changed to LAN 0 mon, which indicates that now the LAN 0 is in the monitor mode. So I've selected the 9, as in the evil twin IP attack for captive portal, and then it asked me for another interface, and then I'm pressing enter. As soon as I press enter, I can see a scan happening here with the scan is happening on all the access points around me. So as soon as I find my access point, I'm just gonna close it. I found my access point. It's the first one over there, Sai Samsung. So I'm just closing it, and as soon as I closed it, there is a dump of access data on my terminal, and my access point is 7. My target access point is 74, so I'm just gonna press 74, and as you can see, it is asking me for an attack option. So I'm gonna select the first option, Dioth /tsok amok mdk4 attack. So I'm just gonna press 1 and then enter, and it is asking me if I want the OS. I'm just gonna say no, and it is asking me if it wants to spoof my MAC address, so I'm gonna say a no as well. And it is asking me if I have a capture handshake file already. I'm gonna say no, and it is asking me for the time, and I'm gonna select the maximum, which is 100, and it is asking me to continue, so I'm just gonna continue, and I can see 2 terminals in which there's a capturing handshake and the MDK4 AMOC attack terminals. So as soon as a handshake is captured, it is going to ask me if way to save it. So yeah, as you can see, it says congratulations, there was a handshake that was captured, and where do you want me to save it? So I'm just gonna accept the default proposal, as in the default path. I'm gonna press enter to accept the default path, and then it is asking me to save it again, so I'm just gonna press enter, and it is asking me to save the password file, so I'm just gonna accept the default path as well. I'm gonna press enter and then enter, and as you can see, it is asking me for the language in which I'll need to use it, so I'm gonna press 1 and use English. It says all parameters and requirements are met, so I'm gonna press enter again, and as you can see, there was a terminal that popped up, AP DHCP dauth and control DNS, and then the web server. These are all the windows that popped up. As you can see, AP DHCP dauth, web server, DNS, and control. These are all the terminals that popped up. I'm trying to connect a client to my access point, and as you can see, there are 2 access points here. This one is the legitimate, and this one the evil twin access point. As it is said in the manual, you can see that the evil twin AP appears to be an access point with no password required to it, so it's just an open network. So let me try connecting to it. When I tried connecting to the access point, it directed me to this page, and it is asking me for the password. Let me first try with an wrong password. I'm just entering random numbers: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So I tried this password and then submit. It says the password is incorrect and redirecting to the original menu. And if you look at the control terminal here, it says the attempts is 1 since I tried attempting since I attempted connecting to it, and the last password captured was 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, as I showed it to you in the video. Now let me try it with the correct password. So I'm coming to this client, and let me try with the correct password. The correct password is password. Let me try connecting to it now. It says the password is correct and the connection will be established in a few minutes. And as you can see in the control window here, it said the password captured successfully, and then the captured password was password, and the password was saved to the file, and it said press enter on the main script window to continue. The window will be closed, so I'm just pressing enter here, and coming to this client, a successful network was established. So as you can see, I could access internet and it was successfully connected. So yeah, that is it for this part.